This is extremely good news for Vancouver as Patrik Allvin spoke out on the Canucks pending UFA, and this will have fans fired up. We also get a major update on the Vancouver Canucks top prospect, revealing a signing is imminent, while we also get a huge update on a Vancouver Canucks legend. We're going to break down all this and more, and you're not going to want to miss it later on this episode. Before we get into that, if you're a part of the 64.9% that's not subscribed yet, and you're enjoying this daily Canucks news and you want to stay up to date on everything to do around your Vancouver Canucks, look no further. That subscribe button's completely free to hit, helps us out a ton, and in return, we'll give you updates from all around the team. But with that, we got up straight into the first topic today, where we do see some news on a Vancouver Canucks legend, and this is Roberto Loungo. Bobby Lou is named to the quarter-century team for the NHL. We've seen the Canucks come out, Lou, the chants are coming down. Bobby Lou was named to the team, and I just wanted to include this in the video because, listen, Roberto Loungo is probably one of my top 5 favorite players all time. My first Canucks game I've ever seen, he shut out the St. Louis Blues. The Lou's were chanting through the stadium, and Bobby Lou is very deserving of making a Vancouver Canucks legend, winning a Stanley Cup, sadly, with the Florida Panthers, but nonetheless, Roberto Loungo has a huge part of history for the Vancouver Canucks, the best goaltender in history, being added to the quarter-century team. I want you guys to go down in the comments down below. Let me know your favorite Roberto Loungo moment. Let me know where he ranks on your favorite all-time down in the comments. But with that, we'll hop straight into the second topic today, where we do get an update from Rick Dolly from the Donnie and Dolly podcast, giving an update on the Canucks prospect Tom Willander. He's either going to turn pro in Europe or with the Canucks this time next week. We should know where he's signing. It'll either be in Europe or in Vancouver. Now, if you guys have been following around with this situation, there's an entire saga happening with Tom Willander. Finishing his season with Boston University, finishing his classes, and not reporting to the Canucks, heading to Europe to try to make the World Championship Sweden team, failing to make it after the Canucks told him not to go. We've seen him say he could return to Boston, but now we seem like we're getting a solidified answer going into next week, either signing in Europe, which would most likely be an SHL team, or he will be signing with the Vancouver Canucks. Now, Tom Willander, for someone that doesn't know him, is the 11th overall pick. The Canucks select in 2023, a perfect stay-at-home shutdown defenseman with a lot of offensive upside. 24 points last year in Boston University, logging top minutes. We've seen him dominate at every level, well, other than the AHL and NHL at this point, but Tom Willander is the Canucks' top prospect, and we also do get more reports. I don't even think the gap is that far. The gap is closing. The Canucks have gone up. Now, this is coming from where we've seen the reports coming out that the Vancouver Canucks were not offering him the max contract coming in that most and majority of rookies do get when signing as a top prospect coming through a system. We've seen Tom Willander's camp say, hey, we can return to Boston University. We have other options. We've seen it go as far as Jim Rutherford come out and say, hey, he has to decide, does he want to make millions in the Canucks organization, go back to school and play overseas? He needs to decide this himself. But it does seem like the Canucks are working their way up to meet what Tom Willander and his agent, JP Barry, I believe, want him to sign going in to his first contract with the Canucks, and he does have a major part on this team. Now, at the back end, we do know the top 4 is pretty much locked up. Quinn Hughes, Myers, Pettersson, Hronek, and you might see Myers jump down within the lineup. On the third pairing, we could see Derek Forbort back, but right now, DPD and Victor Mancini are 2 guys that could slide into this Canucks lineup as third pairing defenders. But the big thing is, with Tom Willander coming in, he would make a very interesting training camp, finding a spot on a third pairing right D. We've seen Victor Mancini look outstanding in Absurd. He showed some great flashes with the Canucks, playing a lot of third pairing minutes with the team as well. This is a spot that's going to be open up for grabs, and someone is going to go in and try to win this. And if Tom Willander signs, it's going to happen. If he heads back to Europe, then the Canucks are in a bit of a situation and could trade him. What were your guys' thoughts on the situation? What's your thoughts on Tom Willander pretty much having a decision either next week on if he's going to play in Europe or sign a deal with the Canucks? Go down and leave a comment on that down below. But with that, we'll get into the topic that everyone wants to get into, and that is Patrik Allvin spoke to season ticket holders during their end of season presser and just walk around of the stadium on Brock Boeser. Now, we've seen the quote coming from Allvin, and I'll link the clip down below that someone took of the interview. he said, we're going to see if there's a chance to keep Brock Boeser. Now, with Brock Boeser, there's been a whirlwind of rumors. We've seen the Minnesota Wild are apparently the front runners to get this guy coming in. We've seen the Canucks want to actively bring him back. But this is the first time that Patrik Allvin really spoke to people on, listen, we're going to continue trying to get Brock. We don't want him walking into free agency, and they're going to try to bring him back. Now, with Brock Boeser, we know a bit of a down year compared to the year previous. 40 goals, 73 points. Just last season was an outstanding year. Bit of a bad year for the Vancouver Canucks. 25 goals, 25 assists for 50 points. Brock Boeser is someone that can go out and score you 20 plus goals, 30. We've seen him hit 40 with the right line mates. We could see Brock Boeser return to this form if the Canucks grab a new second line center, or he finds chemistry with Pettersson or Hedl going into next year. Brock is someone that fans want to bring back, and with obvious reasons. A pure goal scorer, someone that's been with this Canucks organization. We've seen Patrik Allvin go out and speak on Pius Suter as well, talking about the incredible year he had. And this is just a list of a lot of players the Canucks need to try to sign going in. At forward, we know Brock Boeser at the end of his contract, Pius Suter at the end of his contract. Both of these guys, Patrik Allvin, told the fans themselves that they're going to actively try to bring back. Now, the contracts are going to go up. We know the OEL contract, cap hit, whatever you want to call it nowadays. The terrible Jim Benning signing is going to be 4.5 something against the cap as well. So the Canucks do lose a bit of cap space, even though it is raising going into next year. But with Brock Boeser, with the Canucks actively trying to bring him back, I kind of want you guys to go down and leave a comment. What do you think a fair contract would be to bring Brock Boeser back? What do you think a fair contract to bring someone like Pius Suter back as well? They're going to want raises. This is not a situation where they're going to come back for nothing. But as I stress, this is from Patrik Allvin. We're going to see if there's a chance to keep Brock Boeser. He would not say this if he did have no plan to continue negotiating. Heading in, we know as soon as July 1st hits, we could see Brock sign with a new team for absolutely nothing. The Canucks are going to continue doing their due diligence to make sure Brock stays as a Vancouver Canuck. And this is exactly what fans want to hear, myself included. Brock returning would be a huge part. I mean, looking at the team going into next year, we pretty much know all the faces that are signed to a contract going in at forward, at defense. They're pretty much locked up. We've seen Allvin speak on the defense and talk about their current defensemen, going into talking about a few guys on Abbotsford as well, saying they're pretty happy with their defenders going into the next season. The forwards are going to be interesting. We know we need a new second line center. I mean, this is going to be a crucial offseason for the Canucks. It's going to show if a rude tool's happening. It's going to show if the Canucks are still welcome to go all in on a Stanley Cup victory, which, let's fingers crossed, they're going to try to do again. I mean, just last year, they were a goal away from advancing to the Western Conference Finals. What are you guys' thoughts? I know there's a lot to take in. What's your thoughts on Bobby Lou being named to the quarter century team? What's your thoughts on the update on Tom Willander and he'll have his decision going into next week? Let me know all this down below. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back with another episode, so keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark Pye, and take care.